Okay. Hi, everyone, wherever you are in the whole world. My name is Matt. It's been, I think, a little over 2 years since I've been to a home when it was happening in New York in person. And I would occasionally do this where I'd introduce the topic and introduce Phuntsok. I'm just going to introduce it the same way that I always did, because you know him. He was a monk for 21 years before he returned his robes and re-entered the world. And we're really glad that he did, because he's changed our lives without sounding too sappy and sentimental. I'm just thinking about how there's no way that I would be here in California in the program that I'm in right now, on the path of life that I'm on right now, if it wasn't for him. And really these gatherings. So we meet, it used to be every Wednesday, now it's every other Thursday, on Zoom to discuss how to make the wisdom of Tibetan Buddhism a practical application to our lives. I think the topic this week is alone and together. And I was just talking about this with Phuntsok. What does that mean? Here we are alone together on Zoom. We're alone together with some people in a room right now. We all have our own experience, and yet we interact with other people every day, and our interactions are really meaningful. Our encounters that we have with other people change other people's lives in the way I was just describing. And yet, you know, I know that I'm going to die alone. When I die, it's going to be my experience, and no one can have it for me. Even if I want them to. Let's take over, please. Someone die for me. Well, and that can be terrifying, I think. It can be really isolating to just feel like no one understands the kind of experience I'm having, even if we use the same words, even if we share the same experience, we have an experience together. My experience is mine, and yours is yours. And so what does it mean to have my own experience, to try and navigate the territory of my experience by myself, and also to be encountering other people in incredibly meaningful ways that change what my experience is like. I don't know if that's what we're going to talk about today, but we'll start with and that's what Nizam was thinking when he thought of this topic. With that said, we'll begin with just probably like 30 minutes of meditation, 20 to 30 minutes of meditation together, and then we'll hear a talk from Phuntsok. And then after that talk, we'll all get to ask questions, whatever's on our mind, either on the subject or about anything really that's happening in our lives. So with that, thank you all for being here, and we'll kick off this meditation.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so let's begin with a meditation. And thank you, Emmett, because Emmett sort of took the helm when Matt left. Well, Matt had a very important thing to do, and Emmett took over. And thank you, Emmett. And thank you, Nizam, for stepping up when Emmett was like overwhelmed. Thank you. All right, so we'll begin with, and many other people, I don't have time to thank them, but they know who they are, you know who you are. So we'll begin with a meditation, and we're going to talk about the topic today. Sorry, Matt, that's not the topic today. Today we're going to talk about shoes. But that sounds like a great topic. Let me see if I can address that. Okay. So sound the bell to all the parts of you that you are going to meditate. And just relax and listen to all the parts of you that are wanting to meditate, giving you advice, the body, the breath, the mind. They already know how to enter meditation. You don't need to make them enter meditation. Pay attention to the intelligence in the body as it guides you. Make adjustments here, make adjustments there. And you begin to have a palpable experience that you are indeed beginning to enter into a new space of experience and awareness that we call meditation. Be with the legs. Notice the signs that the legs are entering meditation. The calm, the pleasantness, the sense of the legs being present, comfortable, stable. Be with the torso. Notice the attentiveness that the spine gives you when it's upright and yet relaxed. And completely let the arms go from the shoulders to the tip of the fingers. Notice the calm pleasantness in the arms. And you may have taken a sneak peek at the breath, joyfully joining this beautiful dance, entering natural being. Do not ignore the breath if the breath came in, but continue with the head and neck, noticing the stability, the sense of independence of the head and neck, holding themselves by themselves. The mouth, teeth, tongue resting in their natural places. Even there, you can feel the body experiencing the beginning stages of entering meditation, the calm, the pleasantness, the sense of presence. The muscles of the face relaxing, the muscles in the forehead relaxing, and the soft resting of the eyes. Remember, resting of the eyes mean different things for different people. For you, it could be completely closed, or it could be slightly opened, or halfway open, or even just staring straight ahead. As long as it feels like resting, then you're doing exactly what you need to do. And now, without rejecting, without pushing away the body, also include the breath. As you breathe in, you simply know you are breathing in. As you breathe out, you simply know you are breathing out. Whatever is happening right here, right now, that you are aware of, if you're aware of it, it means you are in some way in the meditative state. So it's not what's happening, but to the degree you are present with what is happening. Now bring up a strong determination to commit yourself to enter as fully as possible into the meditative space, holding that strong sense of that commitment. You sort of sign that commitment with a deep breath. So when you feel ready to fully commit yourself to enter as deeply as you can, take a nice deep breath, gently, fully in through the nose. Hold for a second or two, and through the mouth, just release. And as you release, let go in the body, let go in the mind, let go in the breath. Keep letting go, stay in that momentum of letting go, stay in that momentum of letting go. Leave the breath alone, let the breath return on its own, and just stay with that momentum of letting go, letting go, letting go. Feel it palpably in the body. Feel it palpably in the breath. Feel it palpably, energetically. Feel it palpably in the mind, that sense of letting go, letting go, letting go. The more you let go, the deeper you go into that experience of calming, the deeper you go into that experience of pleasantness. The pleasantness is slowly transforming into more and more ecstatic experience. Just keep with that momentum, letting go, letting go, letting go. And take a moment to sort of take an inventory, to give yourself the joyful confidence that you are indeed in some measure in the meditative state. Is a sense of calm present that is palpably felt in the body, in the breath, and the mind, in one or a combination, to whatever degree. Notice it, rejoice, and let go again. To what degree is there a sense of some sort of pleasantness, a pleasantness that is due to letting go, whether in the body, whether in the breath, whether in the mind? Notice it, rejoice, and again, let go. And for those who are already familiar with meditation, already the inner signs are appearing through the sense, or one of the senses, or all of the senses. A sense of energy moving within the body or around the body. A sense of warmth here, or a sense of coolness there. Perhaps even it might be a sense of motion. Perhaps for you, what comes up is through the sense of seeing. Maybe you're starting to feel, you're starting to see something. It could be completely abstract, or it could be a definite vision of something that comes, seems to have a definite clarity and then slowly fades, and yet that space where it was, there's something vivid about that space. Seeing colors, seeing movement of colors, seeing lights. Or perhaps you hear something from within, a sudden hum, a kind of high-pitched sound perhaps. So whichever of these or whatever other experiences you may be having right now, that's the other sign that you are indeed meditating. The mind is clearing up. It is because of the clarity of the mind that these experiences are happening. And what we are now experiencing is the indirect experience of the mind's natural clarity. And how present, how vivid these experiences appear, that is due to the natural luminosity of the mind. And we are getting closer to that as we go deeper and deeper into the meditation. And there's a sense of the mind collecting itself. So congratulate yourself. Witnessing these signs in any measure, that is definite proof you are in some measure in the meditative state. And these signs, as they get stronger, there are signs for you that your meditation is deepening. So every once in a while, let your awareness rest with these signs to give yourself that conviction, that confidence that you're indeed meditating, accessing, and abiding in ever subtle levels of consciousness. The more subtle, the more powerful the means we have at our disposal for immediate transformation. Now that you've witnessed these signs, let us stabilize with threefold breath. So staying connected to any one of the signs that you find yourself more connected to, the sign of the feeling in the body, the vision, the sound, or the taste, even if that's what's present for you. Stay with it without grasping, without rejecting the others. If it goes away, something else becomes stronger, stay with that. So as you stay with that sign, with the intention to go deeper, and with the intention to let go, take a nice deep breath in through the nose. And again, let go through the mouth. Let go, let go. Notice yourself going deeper, deeper. Now stay in the depth that you reach. While in that depth again, through the nose, breathe in. And again, drop. Notice the new depth. The sound is louder, maybe. The sensation is stronger, maybe. The vision is brighter, more vivid. So whatever the sign is that you're deeper, stay there by simply continuously being aware of it. And while continuously being aware of it, that's staying with it. And then stay with it again, deeply through the nose, breathe in. And again, drop. Let the breath return on its own accord. And just for a moment, enjoy the space where you are, not rejecting, not grasping, allowing. And gently, without disturbing the space that you're in, gently move your attention as though you're looking through an eye between the eyes, looking at the space in front of you. And by merely bringing attention, bringing awareness to that space, you begin to have some sort of physiological sensation in the forehead. Whatever it may be for you, pressure, heat, electrical, stay with it. And again, consider there's something deep within us calling us to bring meaning to our experiences, to our existence. At times, it seems clearer than other times. Even at times when it's not so clear, its presence is always felt. It seems to hold some sort of message, some sort of wisdom. And we feel we are being guided by it at times. So go towards that feeling, that urge to know, to connect with what is truly meaningful. As though you're looking for it, as if it's going to appear in that space in front of you. A way of being you. Where you feel authentic. A way of being you that makes you completely fall in love with yourself. Where just within yourself, all needs are met. And as you continue to look at that space, a tiny aperture begins to appear in that very space, almost as if your aspiration, the sincerity of your wanting to know, has created a hole in time and space right in front of you. A tiny, tiny, tiny little hole, the size of the head of a pin, and yet it is extremely bright. And as your curiosity towards that begins to grow, the aperture begins to grow. As the more it grows, the more curious you become. You feel you're about to encounter something extremely important. Almost as if something within you knows, I know what you're going to encounter. You want to encounter this. And the aperture becomes as big as a person. And now you see the source of the brightness. It is an incredibly beautiful being. You're instantly in love upon first contact, first sight. And there's something intimately familiar about this being. You can feel within you all needs are met. All connections are complete. And you just know somehow this is you. This is the you that you know that you are. What better teacher than your own enlightened potential. So you show reverence. You place your trust. And because the very presence of this beautiful being gives you the confidence, the conviction you will fulfill your highest aspirations. And from that conviction, a strong urgency to express gratitude comes within you. A gratitude that is convinced, finally, the means to fulfill my deepest wishes is right here. Sure guidance is present. Sure protection is present. What is it that I have that is holding me back? What is it that I need that I do not yet have? May I be free of whatever within and outside that is obstructing me. Whatever I do not yet have, may I quickly come to have them, so I can finally arrive at a meaningful existence that I seek. As you hold these thoughts in your mind, you see a joyful smile in the face of that you. And the smile is bright. All the colors of the rainbow emanate from that smile. They all arose, emanate from the heart. And they're delighted with you. So accept what will help you become free. Accept what you do not yet have that will help you. Accept them as the rays of light emanating from the smile of your enlightened self. Go ahead, make space in your heart. invite this true guide, this true protector, to come reside in the very center of your heart, to continue to guide you, to continue to protect you. And gladly, she comes to the crown of your head. And gently descends through the crown and arriving at the very center of your heart. There, rest, glowing brightly. Now bring awareness again back to just the space of the meditation, noticing the signs resting in within any one of them. Have the joy of knowing with confidence that you're meditating. And entreat your mind. Make the best use of this session that we are going to have. For the sake of all you love and all you will love. Okay, get ready to arise from the meditation. Noticing that you're in a meditative state. Bring the joy of knowing that. Because if you're not in meditation, you cannot come out of meditation. So with the intention to come out, take a nice deep breath that you feel in here, in through the nose, out the mouth. Then gently reconnect with your immediate surroundings, the sense of touch. Notice the temperature, the feel of the clothing, your cushion. Through your sense of hearing, notice the different sounds. And slowly let your eyes take in light, even if they're open, but deliberately become aware of them. Oh, those are colors, those are shapes, that's shadow, that's light. Okay. All right. All right, since Matt brought up a different topic, so I can't talk about shoes anymore. I did I think I did 2 weddings, maybe more than that, but 2 of them I remember. The other ones, I think I did more than that. Yeah. Oh my God, I did more than that. Maybe I did 5 weddings, but I remember 2 of them. That is, I remember what I did. The other ones, I don't remember. They happened to, I don't know, too many years ago. For those 2 weddings, I did sort of the same ceremony. And the ceremony that I did was a ceremony of somewhat reminding us of something similar to this topic of aloneness and togetherness. So I'm going to sort of describe the ceremony to you, what I did, what I talked about. And if you want me to do the same thing for you, you can call me. And so I began with a sort of like a myth. Imagine a time before time and space. And there was only awareness, and within this space of awareness, there was joy and freedom. And joy and freedom, in its own sort of way, had just spent its time in pure joy and pure joy and pure bliss. Then one day, okay, it's a myth, okay? If there's no time, how can there be one day? Oh, never mind. And in one experience of consciousness, how's that? I got you right there. In one experience of consciousness, there was an aspiration to sort of view itself. I know it's sort of sound like you already know what I'm talking about. Yeah, somebody already made that myth a few thousand years ago. Never mind, I'm borrowing it, okay? So there were innumerable experiences. It's like, chocolate bliss, vanilla bliss, dark chocolate bliss, all kinds, all flavors, just experiencing all kinds of things like that. Then in one moment of experience, there was an urge for a different experience, the experience of perceiving itself. And in order for it to perceive itself, it had to separate itself from itself so it can see itself. And after it created this incredible thing of this illusion of separating itself from itself, then a white light and a red light appeared. You have to make it visual, okay? A white light and a red light appeared. Now the white light sort of got lost in itself. And the red light, see, I told you it was a different story. Now it's like, oh, where is he going with that? It's mine, okay? The red light got lost into itself. But the white light and the red light, they kept looking for something, and they don't know what they're looking for. So they go and create something called the universe, the universe of experiences. And so they go into all the experiences that they have. Red goes into a bunch of red experiences, white goes into a bunch of white experiences. And there's still something within them that keeps urging them for something. And they can't quite know what is it that they're looking for. They keep looking for it in all kinds of things. They look for it in table. They look for it in LA. They look for it in places. They look for it in things. They look for it in relationships. They keep looking, but they still don't know what is it that they're urging them to look. And by sheer accident, they see each other. And once they see each other, then they know, now I know what I was looking for. So they found what they were looking for. They were looking for each other. Now you see, understand the romantic part of it, right? The two people were married, finally found each other. Cute, huh? Now that they finally found each other, now they connect and they live in bliss happily ever after. Okay. So that's the that's somewhat, I don't know, did I make you want to get married like that? No? Okay, never mind. Okay. But this is somewhat of how would you call that? A metaphor for what we are looking for. We keep looking for something. Why do we keep looking for something? Because we feel alone. We feel there's something missing. We feel we need to be with someone or with something, some phenomena. But we keep we keep looking for it in all kinds of ways. Supposedly, this is where I guess the traditional teachings come in. What we are looking for is we've lost ourselves. Remember the two lights? It was one light at one point, became two. What they were looking for, they were each looking for themselves because their self was the two together. That's their self. That's what they were looking for. So what is it that we're looking for? In the very experience of I am alone, in the very experience of I am alone, that very experience is an indication that I am not whole. There's something missing. In that very experience is a wisdom that tells us that I am not just white light, I'm not just red light, I'm something other than that. But this is how I am appearing right now. So this is one way of, you could say, duality. This is the duality that we live in. This is the duality that we experience. The duality of a sense of me being disconnected from what you might call a truer sense of me. And when we encounter others, when we feel that we are in the right space, we are in with the right person, it's because you could say the person is somewhat mirroring that self that we have felt a sense of disconnection from. And that person, they're mirroring it not just by holding a mirror, by their very being is the mirror. So they're in a sense embodying that mirror, they're in a sense embodying a memory for us about what we, from the depth of our being, have been looking for. Okay. But unfortunately, because what is guiding us mostly with our experiences is a misunderstanding of the very experiences that we have, we misunderstand this experience that we are having. I have a sense of connection. And we bring up all kinds of ways of how do I hold on to this connection? This is a connection that I've been looking for, and now I found it, and I have to make sure I don't lose it. Unfortunately, we have ignorance to guide us. And ignorance tells us all kinds of ways to make sure we don't lose this connection. But because it is ignorance, that is not understanding the very experiencing that is happening, and then imposing its misunderstanding on the experience, unfortunately, what it does is that we end up creating a sense of disconnection again. And we have to re-examine, how did I lose this connection? What did I do that made me lose this connection? And then we just go through life that way. So that's one kind of duality that we experience. And there's the big sort of duality, the big duality of me and you, me and other. me here and then the world and I'm experiencing. That's another kind of duality. And this kind of duality is first of all, the subject of duality and non-duality, they're not easy subjects. And the only reason that they're not easy because what they're pointing to is the absolute simplicity. With the more we try to complicate duality and non-duality, the more distant we will be from understanding what it is about. So in that myth of oneness, in order for self-perception to take place, there had to be a surgery, so to speak, a surgery of bringing into existence something called duality. Now, this duality, I promise you, it's going to get, I don't want to say it's going to get difficult, but it's not going to be easy. Okay. The oneness. When I'm saying the oneness, throw away whatever ideas you have about what the oneness is supposed to be. Okay? Throw it away. I'm not talking about a soup. Okay? I'm not talking about a bouillon or soup or anything like that, where everything's sort of mixed. Okay? It's just one soup. That's what I'm talking about. A oneness in a sense of being whole, where there's no need for anything. Okay? That's the kind of oneness I'm referring to. Okay? And that oneness is, well, in Buddhism, they don't use the word oneness too much because it could be easily misunderstood, okay? Because people usually run to understand it as soup, okay? But what they refer to is some people might say, well, that's a coward's, that's a coward's answer. They say non-duality. What do you mean non-duality? Just say one. No, I'm not talking about one. I'm talking about not two. Okay. But not two means one, right? No, not necessarily. Okay. So Buddhism talks about non-duality. So that state that I referred to in the beginning that I call, did I call it that or did you call it that? But you weren't talking, but you were thinking it. So I said it for you. The oneness, okay? That's, you could say that's how things are in reality. That's how things are in reality. Non-dual. That's how they are in reality. What is duality? Remember, I'm going to go back and forth. If I confuse you, I'm sorry. As a matter of fact, if you're confused, that means you're trying to understand it. That's a good sign. If you're not confused, you're probably asleep. Sorry. So, non-duality is the container, right? That's where the red and the white were. They had no need for anything. Okay. And duality came into existence. Where is this duality? They did leave the realm of non-duality and then went to another, universe B. We needed a space to create something called duality. Can we use your universe? It was nothing like that, okay? It wasn't that non-duality was left so that duality can be experienced, or the appearance of duality can happen. Non-duality is the container that holds the appearance of duality. If you're confused, that means you really got what I'm saying. Okay, If you're not confused, that means you didn't hear what I'm saying, or you already know what I'm saying already. Okay. The space of non-duality is the container within which the appearance of duality takes place. Right? Now, the red and the white going into their own experiences completely forgot what did they forget? They forgot that this display of red and white is appearing within non-duality. Because we forgot that all this is happening within non-duality, we take the appearance of duality to be reality. And what happens in duality? There is the appearance of disconnection. There is the appearance of me and you, and because of that, there appears the experience of alone. So all this is taking place, don't forget, within non-duality. Okay. And we have to remember that, so that when the appearance of duality becomes too convincing, unfortunately, most of us are stuck in that. The appearance of duality is so convincing, we forgot about non-duality. And we completely buy into this dualistic appearance. In a way, dualistic appearance is a play. You know, you spent eternity in your non-dual bliss. You say, oh, let me play another game. I'm going to play duality. And we are so caught up in the game of duality, we are completely convinced that that's reality. We forgot that it's a game that we are playing. Because there it is, there's other. Look at me, there's self. And this is where we're going to have to start get serious. You thought I was serious all this time, right? With all, I was seriously laughing, wasn't I? And this laugh is serious also. Saying it is an appearance of duality doesn't mean that there is another that is a non-appearance, and we have to sort of stop this appearance so we can get to this other thing, as though duality is not the reality, and there's another reality which is not duality. And this, if you're confused, very good. Don't worry, there's more coming. You're going to get more confused later, okay? So where was I? It seems like when you first encounter, this is duality, non-dual, and arising, it's an appearance arising out of non-duality. Oh, this duality is fake. It's not real. Be very careful when you say it's not real. I think Alexander Berzin said it nicely. He said, Zen have an answer for you when you're sort of caught up in duality is not real, right? And say the Zen answer is somebody comes and punches you in the face. Oh, okay, I guess that's duality is real. Duality is real, but it's not absolutely real, okay? What does that mean, not absolutely real? It means absolutely real is non-duality. Duality is an appearance emerging out of non-duality, but duality is its own reality. What does that mean, is its own reality? The other that you see, you can't say, oh, that's just an illusion. No, you better relate with that other. Because as soon as you see other, you're in duality. Okay? That means the sense of me is immediately, what's that nice term? Rarefied, reified, rarefied, reified, reified, rarefied, reified. As soon as you see other, you don't even have to say other. As soon as you see other, there's a palpable somatic. I love that term. I'm in love with that term. Somatic just came into my vocabulary recently. I'm going to make a lot of use of it. So you have a somatic, compulsive experience of other without you having to say, oh, that's other. Okay, it's already there. As soon as that takes place, there's already implied self, separate from that. It's already implied. Since that means you're already playing the game. Okay, you can say, whoa. Who started it? I didn't say go yet. You already started, you're already in the game already. You're deep in the game already. So just play. And what is the game? What is that you're supposed to play? Understanding that duality is an appearance, you don't completely buy into it, but you have to play along. What does that mean, you have to play along? For you to really, what happened when the red and the white finally saw each other? They didn't say, oh, there you are. And then they went and did their own stuff. No, they begin to relate with each other. And they had a different experience of non-duality. Okay. So the play along that we have to do is that we have to relate. We have to relate with everything that is appearing to us. Okay. It's already happening also. You're already relating with everything that is happening, that is appearing to you. You're already relating. Now, there's a way of relating that is skillful and a way of relating that is unskillful. There's a way of relating that is a way that will take you back to a knowing of non-duality. And there's a way of relating that will keep you further away from honest understanding of non-duality. It's already happening. It's already taking place. You're already relating. So in your daily experiences, when non-duality is not part of it, that means we are playing unskillfully. Since we are already in the game, we are already playing, we just have to play skillfully. Okay. There's no taking yourself out of the game. Why? Because that's the real game. That's the real thing that's going on. The real thing that's going on is there's a game going on. And nothing that is real is what's that word? Exempt from the game. Sorry. Nothing that is real is exempt from the game. If you're real, you're in the game. The only thing left to do is to play skillfully. Okay. Now, how do we play skillfully so that we can have a sooner experience of non-duality? So we begin to make those relationships intimate. Have intimacy with everything that you encounter. And the stronger the intimacy, the sooner we'll be able to go back to non-duality, the space of non-duality that we left. Okay. So that's a very nice game we rigged, wasn't it? It's a game that is rigged in such a way that you cannot not play. I don't want to play anymore. I don't want to play anymore. What does that mean? I don't want to play anymore. Give me back my non-duality. Give me back my non-duality. But we we set it up in such a way. Oh, you want non-duality? Well, you gotta play. Okay, I don't want to play. I don't want to play. Well, okay, you're not gonna play. You're gonna stuck in duality. It is completely rigged. There's nothing you can do about it. You might as well play. Okay, play. Okay. And there are so many ways of having intimacy. Okay, so many different ways of having intimacy. You can have intimacy with a plant. Okay, like be really interested in the otherness of the plant, because that's what's appearing to you right now. Plant, other, and be very sincerely curious about the plant. That's how you play the game. Interestingly, the way of non-duality is not to say there's no plant, there's no plant, there's no plant, there's no plant. I mean, there are a lot of meditations out there that are like that, right? There's no plant, there's no plant, there's no. Why do you keep appearing? There's no plant. Saying there's no plant is the sure way of continuing duality. There is a trick that you can do, though, what might maybe called an illusion of experiencing non-duality. You can escape in your mind in such a way that nothing appears to you. It's finally non-duality. I don't see plant anymore. I must be now in non-duality. But I still feel alone. Now I feel completely alone. When you're in non-duality, there's not supposed to be alone. Alone is only with duality. Okay? So if you're having an experience where you somehow stop yourself from being able to see anything, that's possible. Get yourself knocked out, many different ways. Jump in the ring with Mike Tyson. Does anyone remember Mike Tyson? Is he still relevant? Or some more, how do you say, what's that one? Recreational way. Some more recreational ways of making nothing appear to you, okay? Where all you see is yourself. That is just your mind. And when you see just your mind, you think, since no one else is appearing, nothing else is appearing, this must be oneness. It's just me. I have discovered oneness. You're just stuck in your mind, man. That's not non-duality. Okay. And one indication that it's still duality, I don't see anybody. I don't see anybody. Okay. Look at me alone in the universe. The universe has dissolved into me. The universe has returned to its proper place, me. All you have at that point is just you have the biggest ego ever. Okay, that's all you've that's all you have. So in the game that we are playing, having an experience of perceiving an other, the plant, the way to non-duality is to engage the plant. Be sincerely curious about the plant. And in that process of discovering the plant, you will finally arrive at non-duality. That's why a lot of meditation teachers keep saying, don't throw away experiences that you have while you're meditating. Every experience that you have is an opportunity for non-duality. Remember, the container itself is non-duality. It's not that we left non-duality to enter into a different universe called duality. Duality is taking place within non-duality, within that same universe. Okay. So you can begin having intimate experience with a plant, but the plant will not respond to you in the way that you would like. So when the appearance gives the appearance of responding to you, the opportunity is even greater. Don't go buy plants thinking, okay, I'm going to reach enlightenment. I'm just going to stay at my plants and I'll reach enlightenment. Sorry, it's not going to work that way. Yeah, maybe after 1 trillion years, staring at a plant, you will reach enlightenment. Okay. But if you don't want to wait that long, when the appearance, when the other is able to respond to you, when it seems to have definite independence, that the sense of independence is very real, and you relate with that, the opportunity is even greater. When you seem to be able to get into each other's lives, so to speak, and you know how messy that is. I don't have to tell you how messy that is. That can become so messy. And yet, you navigate this messiness with skill. You're giving yourself a greater opportunity to sooner arrive at non-duality. And don't tell me, wait a minute, before this talk, I don't remember I was looking for non-duality. What is this guy talking about? What do I want with non-duality for? Remember the meditation that we did, what you were looking for? Non-duality is just another word for it. What you're looking for deep within you, that sense of satisfaction when you finally arrive and say, I'm satisfied with existence. That's non-duality too. That's what you're looking for. That's what the expression is. Okay. So it's almost like, you know, the way for the world to let go of you is for you to respect the world. The way for the entrapment, seeming entrapment of duality to let go of you is for you to respect duality. Every encounter of other is an opportunity. You want to get out of here? There's your opportunity. You're encountering other. And when you begin to treat other, not like other, but like self, then you're being even more skillful. That is, you see other over there, everything that you would want for self, you consider self is over there, where other is supposed to be. It doesn't mean self here likes chocolate. I'm going to feed chocolate to stuff over there. Okay? For a long time, that's what I thought it meant. I kept giving people mango. No, self here, the experience of self, loves the experience of chocolate. Be sincerely curious about, what does self over there wants to experience the same way I enjoy chocolate? Well, let me be a means to provide that for you. Okay? Doesn't mean, sorry, I know your self loves gluten, but this self here can't take gluten. Okay. Some people, some poor people are allergic to chocolate, but very bad karma. Sorry if anyone here is offended. I'm not trying to offend, okay? But I really think it's a really bad karma not to be able to enjoy chocolate. Okay, all right. The feeling of aloneness, when it comes up, know that it is wisdom speaking through you. It is wisdom reminding you, hey, you're playing a game. We're supposed to get back to non-duality. You're not in it right now. That's why you're experiencing aloneness. And a way of the very beginning of processing this is to really appreciate, and by appreciate, I'm not talking about like you appreciate something and you get more of it, but you really understand it. That is, this is what alone feels like. This is what alone feels like. My body reacts this way. My thoughts go this way. My emotions go this way. These are the emotions that accompany it. That's what I feel like doing. That's what I don't feel like doing. Really come to know it. And by doing that, we are establishing an intimacy with the feeling of being alone. We are training ourselves in intimacy. And by training ourselves in this way, then we are opening the door to begin to do this same intimacy now with other. Sincerely wish to have a partner, and the partner could be like Shaidaputra in Maurgalyana. There were two monks who were friends for, like, they were friends on the path. They got into the path together, and they were very, very intimately close. When Maurgalyana was renowned for having developed a lot of magical powers, a lot of siddhis. Okay, and people would just thought that, no, Maurgalyana, he's fine. You don't have to worry about him. He's got all these siddhis. He can get away from everything. But karma got to him once. Supposedly, Maurgalyana was beaten to death. While he was lying very broken, just on deathbed, his fellow monks were asking him, Maurgalyana, I mean, of all of us, you excel in magical powers. Why didn't you just fly? Why didn't you just disappear? Why did you let yourself get beaten to death? And Maurgalyana said, I could not even think of the word magic powers at the time. Okay, so eventually Maurgalyana passed away in that appearance. And Shaidaputra, when Shaidaputra found out, Shaidaputra was beside himself. He cried for days. And Shaidaputra was already enlightened. Maurgalyana was already enlightened. Okay, don't let your mind go into, wait a minute, he was already enlightened, he was beaten, he was enlightened, he was crying. Don't let your mind go there, okay? That's not the story, even if it's a myth, okay? Don't let your mind go there. What is it telling you? There's nothing unenlightened about having an intimacy with someone, okay? intimacy is what you could say is what we are seeking with reality. That's what the sense of aloneness is about. We feel disconnected from what we are perceiving. So there's a sense of that very concrete sense of me and the very concrete sense of other over there. Like they can't seem to meet because that's what it seems like. So what we are seeking, what this sense of aloneness is seeking from us, through us, is intimacy. Intimacy with reality. And now you will hear a lot of different kinds of philosophical presentations as to what is the nature of this intimacy that we are seeking. And it becomes very confusing. Like intimacy is already there, so you could say, we're just not aware of it. Whatever is appearing to us, we have already an intimate connection with them already. That's why they're appearing to us. And you have one group of people who say this intimacy is at the level where everything is just happening in my mind. Other people I see are just things happening in my mind. My mind is the non-dual container. And the duality that I'm experiencing is just in the space of my mind. Me here, you there. There's no such me here, you there. It's just, these are just appearances happening in my mind. And that's the intimacy is supposed to be. Like if the appearance of you, the appearance of me is nothing but my mind, then there's a sense of intimacy between the you and the me. When we finally skillfully relate with everything, we will then no longer have arising within us the appearance of aloneness. Okay. Then you can still be you can still be, there can still be you and there can still be other, and yet the feeling of aloneness will not be present because of a recognition of an underlying intimacy that is present. I'm really curious. I really would like to know you. Okay. And it's sincere. And that very sincerity washes away the feeling of aloneness. So it appears that the way for me not to be alone is to be with someone. But we all know that. We've all have had experiences, relationships where it could be like your home with your family. Yeah, there could be 10 siblings, and yet you feel alone. You could be in a seeming intimate relationship with someone, and the person is there, and yet you feel alone. So it's not just the physical presence of someone that would make you not feel alone. Something much deeper. Okay. And in the same way, a yogi, a yogini can be in a cave somewhere and feels completely intimate with everything. No sense of aloneness at all. Now, we are living in a time where we have to use drastic measures. Because this time is woo, woo, okay? It's so woo, woo, you will not understand, you will not believe me, okay? This time is really, yeah, woo, wee, okay? That's the only expression for this time. This time is woo, wee, okay? And because we are living in a woo, wee, not woo, wee, woo, wee, okay? Because this is the time that we're living in, we have to take drastic measures Okay. And what is it? What are drastic measures? Really respect people, even those who appear not to deserve respect. Okay, because it's not how they are treating us that will make us experience reality in some way or another, but how we respond to how they treat us that will make us experience reality one way or another. Okay. So there is intimacy between student and teacher. The more intimate that is, the closer the sense of connection, the more powerful it will become. And there's the intimacy between friends. The closer, the more that they're able to share, the more powerful that relationship will be for them. And yet there is some people, that's the kind of thing that people want to jump into. The intimacy that involves romance. That is a very, very powerful means of relating. Because you're basically stripping yourselves, laying bare, you're supposed to. Lay bare, I was talking about that. Stop it. You're supposed to lay bare your whatever you are, for the other to see. You're not supposed to hide whoever you are for the other to see. And there are parts of you that you don't want to see. Let alone have someone else see it and point to you and say, yeah, I see it. Okay. And if we are able to lovingly, compassionately hold space for each other in that kind of relating, then it becomes an extremely powerful means of getting to the end of the game. Okay. Don't worry, when the game ends, it just becomes fun. Right now, the game is just not fun. You've been kicked around. Yeah, well, what happened? Was I supposed to kick that? No. Okay. The game is just not fun now. But when the game is over, when the part of the game that is not fun is over, then the game becomes fun. Okay. Then you say, oh, that's duality. I know about that. What about Trinity? You ever try that? And how do you find those relationships? Okay, I'm not going to get into that, but I'll just say this. Whatever relationship you have right now, behave within it as though it is the ultimate relationship. Don't be in a relationship where you're hoping for something else. It may not be the relationship for you, but the way to get to the relationship is to treat whatever relationship you have as though it is the ultimate relationship. Respect, love, compassion, main ingredients. Okay. And if that relationship wasn't supposed to be that relationship that get you to enlightenment, or, then it will become the means for you to get to that relationship. Okay. So whatever relationship you have, treat them with respect, with love, with compassion. And whenever you feel alone, just know that that alone is telling you, be in the game consciously now. Be in the game with mindfulness. You were asleep while you were playing the game. And it's to remind you to get back. Relate with whatever is within you. If you just have plants in your house, okay? Begin to relate with them intimately. Be very interested in their lives. What did you do yesterday? How was the sun? Was there enough water? Did we have minerals in the water? Sorry. Okay. And there are people who actually have such intimacy with plants that they actually communicate with each other. Okay. Yeah. And you probably have this already with, if you have pets, somehow you understand them and they understand you. It's because of this. And this is where you do not buy into the duality. Okay. You relate with them, even though they seem to be over there, you see them over here, and there's no way they can meet. But you say, that's not the absolute reality. You relate, and you begin to understand each other in ways that just duality just cannot explain. So what do you do with duality? Use it well. There's no avoiding it. So use it well. Okay. And that's the only way to get to non-duality. Use duality well. Stop saying there's no plant. There's no plant. There's no spoon. There's no spoon. That only makes you blind. All right. So I think this is time for questions. I'm not even sure what time it is. Did I go over time? I usually do. What time is it? 6. Oh, so I'm a little bit over time. No wonder you fell asleep. Wake up. No questions? Did we lose Nizam? Yes. Sorry. There was a question that Nizam asked, and I sort of blended it with questions that some other people have asked about relationship, and this is the best way I thought I could approach that topic. All right. All right. Since no one has a question. I remember the days when, remember, everybody used to sit around and drink tea. Then questions come up. I guess when you're alone in your space, it's not conducive for questions to come up in your mind. Yeah.
Phuntsok, I have a question. Hello.
Oh, okay.
It's
Hi.
Lorela. How are you?
How are you?
So good to see you.
See you.
So I have a question. So, well, like from the traditional right perspective, having the guru coming from that school, how do you do this connection with the guru if you don't have that closeness as like a friend or a teacher that you have more access?
Actually, just today I just found out that my teacher passed away in 2004.
Mm-hmm.
It's been 16 years I've been without my teacher.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot of time.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, but I never felt alone.
Exactly. I mean, my question, like, let me extend my real question is more like, what I asked, but then like when you connect kind of like from your heart, since it's from the non-duality, does it make it like a real connection without having to be with that person?
Oh yeah, that's the connection that you want to really
that you want to reach. Okay.
Yeah, it's that heartfelt connection.
Exactly.
Remember, two people can be in the same room and still feel
separate. Right? Yeah. And like you say, like a big family. That's my case. Like we are 10 siblings, but we were like so educated, like respect each other, that it became like too separate. You know, like not so connected. But I mean, it's connected, but it's more like
yeah. And of course, you have to make use, right, of what you have. If, for example, when my teacher was in Howell, New Jersey, and then I'm living in Manhattan, there were times I felt I needed to be in his physical presence.
Yeah.
Because there was something about his physical presence that gave me, that allowed me to have that heart connection felt more palpable, to be more palpable. So if that's the case, then you have to admit it, that's the reality. But do not completely depend on the physical presence. Otherwise, okay, now he's gone for 16 years now. It's like, okay, I have no guru. I have no guru. No, that sense of connection is still there. I still dream about him.
Yeah,
He
you are still
calls me.
connected, but the interaction, well, how about the interaction you were talking?
Yeah.
Like you still need the other person's interaction with you.
Yeah, definitely.
Then if there is no there is no seeing each other, there is only that heart connection, but without the interaction. Does it still work?
Yeah. So it's going to seem like I'm not answering your question, but I'm answering your question. The thing is, the sense of connection has to appear to feel real. The sense of the connection has to appear to feel real. Okay. And there are many different ways where you can make that sense of connection appear to you. So you go in the presence of the teacher and seeing the teacher, serving the teacher, interacting, having conversation. That will give a sense of connection because you're perceiving yourself relating.
Okay.
And when you're doing that, it feels there's a palpable, real sense of connection taking place right then and there as you're doing that. And then you focus not so much on I am seeing the teacher, I am relating with the teacher, but rather the sense of connection that you feel. You take that with you. You go home.
Okay.
When you go home, that sense of connection will remain a little bit, and it will go away because the way of conditioning of having that experience is I'm in the presence of teacher, I'm relating, then the feeling comes. Okay. When you're able to stay with the feeling more and more, then there might even be a point where the sense of the inner connection feels more real than when you're in the presence and you're talking.
Okay.
So however you first make that sense of connection, you cultivate that until you're able to have that inner sense very strong.
Okay. And that will be enough.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Nazam is here.
Which you did answer, but if you want to add anything.
Which was it?
He asked, in your story of the red and white light, how is it possible to experience non-duality if they are now in duality? Sounds like we can understand, intellectualize, and make sense of it, but how does the red light experience it? Is it possible now that the red light is in the game? Maybe it could have experienced it before the game started, but now how?
Okay. As far as what, it's pure metaphor to say that the light, the two, the red and the white, or subject and object, self and other, were once in some fairyland experiencing non-duality, and somehow they lost it. That's just pure. It's just a way to just talk about it. It's not really pointing to some absolute reality. Oh yeah, In the time when there was no time, we were in non-duality, and somehow we lost it, and then now we are in duality. That's not an absolute real thing, okay? The thing is, we are in non-duality. And there's this urge within us to have an experience that we are now calling non-duality, which is the feeling of aloneness is no longer present, okay? The way to get to that non-duality is to make skillful use of duality. That is, relate skillfully with everything that is appearing to us. And how do you relate? What is skillfully relating? Compassion, love, sincerely curious about the other. Okay, that's skillful relating. And every once in a while, when you're in meditation, you may have a sense of non-duality, but it's, it's fleeting. It's not something that you can hold on to. It's not stable. Why is it not stable? Because it's not. I would almost say it's not real. My teacher sometimes said, you go on a retreat, and after some time you have these incredible visions, like you're being visited by Buddhas and stuff like that, and things like that are happening to you. And he said, a lot of time it's because you want to see it so much that your mind creates it. Okay, not necessarily because it's actually happening. So we want an experience of non-duality so much that our mind creates an experience of non-duality. And what's the sign that it's not some sort of ultimate non-duality? You come back and your traumas are back. You're triggered. You're still triggered. You're still triggered. That's the sign. Okay. I'm not sure if I answered Nizam's question, but since he's not there, I can say I did. All right, so it's time. Oh, wait a minute. Is that a chat thing? I never look at that stuff. Oh, it just says hello. Okay, so we're going to do a closing meditation since you're nicely confused. This was such a treat. I wish you guys could see this. I'm having a little home experience here because we have Hillel, Matt. Oh my God. I'm so emotional, I can't remember things. I am home. I'm having home. Okay, like my sister would say, don't be jealous. All right, let's meditate. The same meditation, I don't think it's time to let go of it yet. It seems to be working. Okay. We here don't have to imagine it because it's actually happening. So wherever you are in the world, think that we are all gathered in your space. And keep saying us, us, us. When you say us, have a sense of the community, the Sangha, together meeting. and go back to your very sense of individuality and say us. And as soon as you say us, there's a sense of different parts lovingly coming together, sacrificing their individuality so they can be us. Legs is not just legs, arms are not just arms, but us. Now take that same sense of palpable us and give it to the community gathered, and keep saying us. You're the left hand, that person is the right hand, that person is the eye. Not necessarily that way, but that's us. In the totality of you are us. And when that sense of us gets strong, eventually it produces a vision, a bright, very bright vision in the very center of our circle. And immediately we feel that bright presence to be us, like a projection, an embodiment, a mirror of the sense of us. And we are connected to it with a ray of light coming from our hearts, going to the very center of that presence. And we keep feeling us, from the perspective of some other people looking at us. They say, oh, look at them, and we feel us. And it gets stronger, stronger. As it gets stronger, then the bright presence expands, grows. And as it expands and as it grows, it incorporates within itself, transforming everything into its just that brightness. It continues to expand. It expands. And every single one in the circle is lost in that light. And yet we feel us, still presence, but more stronger, more palpable, us. It continues to expand. And the building, the house, everyone in it gets absorbed in that light. And it's us. It's us. It continues to grow. Your neighborhood, your state continues to grow until the entire earth is absorbed into that one brightness, us. And yet trees, grass, birds, rivers, oceans, lakes, they're all us. And just like the right hand will immediately go to help the left hand, we feel a readiness to go help the birds, to go help the fish, to go help the ocean, the lake, the mountain, the grass, the trees, the clouds, because it's all us. And keep playing with that. Your neighbors, bring them, us. Members of your family, us. Then gradually, all minds being very imbued with a sense of us. So the appearance of this bright presence is no longer necessary. So it begins to shrink. As it shrinks, whatever it once touched is left with a shine of its presence. Until again, that bright presence is right in the center of our circle. And we are imbued with a sense of us. And the ray of light connecting our heart to the center. Through that ray of light, that bright presence sort of divides itself and enters into each one of our hearts. And we feel us is here also. By taking care of me, I take care of us. By taking care of us, I simultaneously also take care of me. And let your mind go rest in just the space of the meditation, noticing the signs of calming, pleasant clarity, radiance, focus. Remember, whatever it is that you may have received, whatever your own intelligence may have gifted you through this talk, out of compassion, wish to share it with everyone you encounter. Not just the words, but their very feeling, the very beingness. If there's someone or a community somewhere that you wish to make a dedication, dedicating the merit of this gathering, make that personal dedication. And if you wish to join in making a dedication together in group, Gyewa di Kyoken Sunam Yeshe Tsogzog Shin Sunam Yeshe Lechungwe Damba Kunyi Tobar Sho. Okay. Now come out of the meditation. Don't think I was going to leave you there. You thought that, didn't you? How could you? Okay, make the intention to come out. Take a nice deep breath. And deliberately, consciously reconnect with your environment. Ooh, the temperature. Oh, my clothes. Oh, the sound. Ooh, the lights, the shadows, the colors, the shapes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Phuntsok.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone who.
I'm doing that.
Thank you, everyone who joined in person here in LA. Thank you for everyone joining on Zoom and through the recordings. Please consider offering dana for this home series, which goes towards maintaining and developing more offerings to share with everyone. You can show your support through individual donations on Venmo or through ongoing support through Patreon. And I hope everyone is having a meaningful practice throughout this Sakadawa month, and see you in 2 weeks.
Forgot to mention Sakadawa. Yesterday was the full moon of most important full moon in all Buddhism, all Buddhist traditions. It's considered to be the most powerful merit-making day. Well, that was yesterday. But you still have a few more days left. Okay, it takes a while. So instead of 100 billion merit with one action, it's only 1 billion, okay? And yeah, continue to make very wonderful merit during this month. It ends June 12th, I think. Around that time, June 12th. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Bye.